So this is the predicament. What do you do? You know what I'm saying? What do you do? This is Lordy God, children. Lordy God. All right, come on in here and get you. Oh, Lord. Oh. My babies. My babies. Can you see? Let's see. There we go. I'm telling you, honey. I'm telling you. Ain't you pretty? These are my little babies. They were just so... Oh, you so pretty, honey. You so pretty, baby. Did I mention I'm allergic to cats? What's wrong, baby? Okay, one's gone. So now it's just me and this one. What do you do? She's just as smooth as a piece of satin. I don't know if it's a he or a she. I don't know. Oh, my baby. I know, honey. I know. I mean, she just is a love bug. I know, darling. Mommy knows. Mommy knows, honey. Oh, I do. Yes, I do. God love the baby, right? This cat, I'd see it out there. It's a little trailer park here, you know. So she would be, or he, would sit out there in the gravels at the evening time. It only let me pet it a couple of times. And after about 4 minutes, so I would just talk to it. I would just pass by and say, hey to the kitty. And after about 4 months, when my porch was finished and the roof went on, they showed up. They started staying on the porch. It became a cat condo. I know. It did. I've got a girlfriend, she's got cats, Nina. We ordered a thing off, like a heated blanket. I said, will you order them one of them heated blankets? I don't know. I don't order nothing. I don't even know how to order anything. So we ordered okay, baby. Hey, listen, I love you, darling. I love you. Oh, my baby. Yes, I do. But I got to breathe here. I got to breathe here a minute. And a cat tree. And I took a box, and I had Samantha, one of my little girls. She's not little no more. She's about 38, 39 years old. Probably about 40. I don't know. She came up and helped me one day. And we took a box and turned it upside down. And you know those things you put in your windshield to keep the sun from beating in? We folded the flaps to the inside and sandwiched the reflective that you put in the windshield of a vehicle all the way around it, keep warmth in with the electric blanket to lay on. And say, boy, she's this and like that. They both did. So I took him to the vet because I thought it was a girl, so pretty, and to get it fixed. And it was a boy, and it had already been neutered. So I got medicine for both. And so this one here really still needs to go to the vet. But they're both a lot healthier now and doing fine. But I won't take this one and get it shots and stuff later on when I get the extra cash. Cash is something I want to talk to y'all about. Because, and I'll stop this here in a minute and pause it, go into the little living room in there where I sit. A friend of mine, Deborah, and I, which is actually my landlord, but she's more like family, not friend or landlord. Just the sweetest woman in the world. I know, honey. Mommy knows. Mommy knows, darling. It's a baby. It's just a little bitty, teeny-tiniest baby. What we gonna do with you, honey? She's got little claws like you wouldn't believe. Mommy loves you. It's just a teardrop from heaven, you know. You look at these things like this and you just think about God. You know, my goodness. You know, my Bubba dog lived to be 15. Here's his collar. He lived to be 15. And his ashes are over there on the other side of the bed. But Bubba was a man. You know, Bubba was a man. Bubba was a old man dog. He was a young teenage dog. He was a boy dog when I got him. He's a puppy when I got him. He's about 7 months old. Still a real big dog. At 7 months. Black lab. But he was affectionate. He was so loving and affectionate. Oh my goodness. But not like he let you pet him for a minute. But it not like this. And I really enjoy, you know. And when Bubba was gone and there was nothing to love on for about 6 months, or just a little more. And then these cats come along. And I just love it. I appreciate them. I really do. I got him a new litter box. It's for the corner. You put it in the corner. That's what it's going to tell you about. Me and Deborah, we went over to Boone, North Carolina today. She called me about 12 o'clock. She said, "You awake yet?" I said, "I just woke up." And she said, "Oh, no, but anyway," I told her, I said, "I'm unlocking the door. Come on in." And I had to go get that dryer over at Boone. Well, baby, I know, honey. So she rode with me, and we stopped by the the Goodwill. I like Salvation Army, but we stopped by, it's called the Hebron Thrift. And then we went by the Goodwill. Hebron Ministries Thrift. And there's two Goodwills over in Boone. And we stopped by one, and I found a really nice corner with the lid and the flap litter box for him. And that thing is, you got to order it. And it was, it's like $34, Plus, I guess you pay taxes. I don't know if you have to pay ship or not. But anyway, I got mine for $6 at the Goodwill. And I was so excited. I took pictures and said, whoa, baby. I know, darling. That's my little girl up there above my head. I made that hat and I made that poncho. I made her matching pants. She's about 4. I guess about 4 years old there. I look rough. I know I look rough. Anyway, somebody sent me a message and said, Mitzi, I miss you. Need a video. And that just tickled me to death. And I hit the play button right then. I hit the play button. And so let me oh God. Let me get my wits about me and I'll be right back. Okay, so Deborah and I went over to Boone, North Carolina today. Boone is just mountains, mountains, mountains. Boone is so pretty. If, you know, where I live is mountains. We live right on the Appalachian Trail, and Damascus, I live right on the edge of Abingdon, Virginia. I actually have an Abingdon address, which is a bad thing because property is way too expensive in Abingdon. It's ridiculous. I mean, Northerners moved in from down here, and it really pisses me off because we are country people. My bloodline comes from over in the coal fields. Seriously, you know, very clannish people. The Pinkertons and war with the coal companies, mining script, row houses. Your husband's killed, you're kicked out in the middle of winter if there's snow on the ground and you got a baby in your arms. If your husband's killed in the mines, you don't even get a $5 bill. You're put out in the cold in the streets. That's where, you know, so that the people had to be clannish, had to take care of themselves. Both of my great-grandfathers were coal miners. Very, very religious, Bible belt, very strict. You know what I mean? And these Northerners come in, and I'm going to tell you something. Before the Northerners showed up, you know, I seen today, Washington County Public Schools celebrating Black History Month. Give me it's just like more from the book, Who Gives a Shit? You know, the black people and the white people didn't have no troubles till the damn Northerners showed up. I'm talking about here. Over in Clintwood, why, Lord, I was never taught. I was taught to be respectful of everybody. My grandparents, they raised everybody right, and my mother raised me like they raised her. And, you know, we do live kindly separate. So there's a part of town where mostly the black families live, and there's beautiful houses. And then the same way in Clintwood. Clintwood was the same way. But, you know, that's not because nobody doesn't want somebody to live beside of them. That's just, you know, I think where, you know, the way it started and the way it's always going to be. And I don't get in anybody's business about things like that. I think that, you know, it's like Morgan Freeman said, stop talking about it. Stop giving it any attention. It's not an issue. Stop making it one, is more or less what he's saying. But I just remembered the first time I ever saw a black lady, and she was wearing, it was like a blue satin dress and matching pillbox hat, and I think it had a little bit of a veil with it, because the blue satin had lace all over top of it. And I remember she was getting in or out of a car, stepping up onto the sidewalk. She was a middle-aged woman. She's beautiful, beautiful. And I said, Mama, I thought she was so beautiful in her outfit. I'll never forget to this day, the first black lady I ever seen. And it was probably on a Sunday or something like that. And Mama said, hush. Because I noticed a difference. I noticed she was a different color. But I thought she was beautiful, was why I was asking. Because she was so Jackie O, let me tell you. And, if you really want to get down to it, I think black people dresses a whole lot better than us white people does. They go to a lot more trouble on themselves, especially the church women. But we're a Bible Belt. Now, I just say that because to me, the Northerners come down and they just try to tell us how to live, and they don't know. If you want to come down and be a part, and join in, we always want to be welcoming and hospitable. And we want to be welcoming and hospitable. We do. But you got no business coming down here and trying to tell us what to do. If you want to live here, you can assimilate to us. And that's just the way we are. And be glad we welcome you. But this is our land. And I'm sure people out west feel the same way, and people over in England feel the same way. And I'm not trying to start no bullshit, okay? That's not what I'm saying. But we're also a very poor area. Southwest Virginia is a very poor area. So, just buy high, sell cheap is all I can tell you, which is what I'm about to talk about. But we live in the mountains, and Boone, see right here where I live. I live on the edge of Abingdon, which is next to Damascus. My next door neighbor over here has a Damascus address, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. And then you cross the state line and go into Tennessee within just a couple of miles. And then you go through Mountain City, Tennessee, which is a one-horse town. I mean, don't think Mountain City's a city, because it's not. It's just a little old town on the 421 4-lane, and it's called Mountain City, Tennessee. It's very small. Mountain City, you go through Mountain City, and then you into North Carolina, Boone, North Carolina. And then past Boone, you go on over into, the furniture factories and stuff like that over there in North Carolina. I find a lot of good furniture over there. I found a whole lot of good furniture over there to buy and resell secondhand. So anyway, me and Deborah, so what it was, I will try to put something about it. I got me a washer. I got me a portable washing machine, but it don't have no wheels on the bottom of it. And I'm like, good Lord. It needs wheels on the bottom of it. I'm going to have to order a tray for it to sit down in, and then I'll be able to wheel it around. But you push it up to your kitchen sink, and you hook it up to the sink. And it washes real nice, good clothes. But Lord God, they make things as cheap as they can anymore. You know it. The whole body of that thing is plastic. But it washes clothes good, and it's quiet. And I give $200 for it. It was still new in the box on Marketplace. I guess somebody gets that pallet stuff. So me and Deborah, she rode with me yesterday too. Went down to Tennessee. and got that for $200. So today I drove over at Boone and got a portable clothes dryer. It's about, and it's square, and it plugs into a regular wall outlet. So you can just dry your clothes. I don't have to have 220. And I'll be able to wash clothes. But the dryer's still out there in the back of the Jeep. I just couldn't get it in. I was just wore out. I was so exhausted. But now I can wash clothes. I'm in business. And I got the washer for $200 and the dryer for $150. Now the dryer was used, but just 2 or 3 times. What it was, these people, and when I went to pick that dryer up, I told Nina, I said, I wish you could have seen. They had a little house. This girl, they could. Most people that live in Boone have money. Big time, they really do. There's the Appalachian State College over there. And if you ever watched Mountain Men, Eustis, that's where Eustace lives. So I got a hair. I feel it. But anyway, the lady, she had a little building she had bought and painted white with red little dog prints, and she had a doggy daycare. And it just looks, it looked like a little cottage and chain link dog runs and, pretty nice little setup. And then the husband seemed like a doctor or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, and they had a beautiful home. But so anyway, I got the dryer off. Then they got a gas dryer. So they just used it a few times. She might have had it out there and, to wash towels. I think she said they used it to wash the baby's clothes. So, to dry the baby's clothes or something like that. Just a handful of times, and got their gas dryer. And so anyway, it retailed for $339, and I got it, which tax would have been on top of that. So you might as well say $350, and I got it for $150. And we stopped at a couple of thrift places. Look at these. I sell different things. They're a little dusty on the inside. Well, somebody decoupaged the inside of that. So, I'll show you. So there's 2 of these. And for instance, I'm telling this because I know people struggles with money. And I don't want to encourage you to spend your money and be broke, but this is how I get by. I've bought cars and everything else by doing this. Now that's the truth. I bought vehicles, trucks, cars. I raised a child buying and selling things. So I got 2 of them. They had 2, and I got them for $2 because I liked them. And like I said, they need cleaning. They painted them silver underneath on the bottom. It's silver, like a silver nail polish, or maybe a white pearl nail polish on the bottom. You can kind of see the brush strokes. But anyway, I got these for $2 and I listed them for $15. Okay, I just put them on Marketplace. And I don't expect them to last long. And the reason I bought them was because they were butterflies, because butterflies sell very well. They do. Butterflies always sell well. And I could have put $10 on them. But I thought, why not get 15, okay? And if I don't get 15, I'll lower them to 10. But I'm going to try and get 15. Unless I'm in a really good mood one day and I want to list them for 10. And I was in a really good mood, but I didn't want to list them for 10. I wanted to try to get 15. Every little bit helps. And it's not greed, it's need, okay? And so, and I haven't been selling nothing. Much of anything at all. I emptied my store. I got it home. I've been busy with the divorce lawyer. I've been busy with everything. So much stress and aggravation. And that's why I've not made a video. But it ain't because nothing's really wrong. It's just because life is just so stressful. And I haven't felt good. The arthritis has really been rough, you know. And it's just really rough. I've slept a lot. And then when I've been up, I've had to go do things I didn't want to do, you know. Full with things I didn't want. One thing was the water department. God, don't get me started on them. Probably going to give him a call back tomorrow, which I guess is today now. They have charged me about $180, about $186 in the last 2 months. Telling me I had a leak. Telling me to get down on, you know, to go looking for leaks, to be doing this. And then I hired Miguel one time. That was $150. And I had to have him come back the other day, 3 months later, because the leak still wasn't fixed. And he came for free to help me because I couldn't pay him. And I told him that. I said, I need help. He come help me. He's done a tremendous amount of work for me, and I've always paid him, and he's always been good to me. And Miguel's, again, more like family. But, you know, money does matter, and I didn't have it, so he come and helped me. Well, when he got here, he said, Mitzi, come out here. And I went out there, and the damn water, excuse my language, but the water main was full of water. I said, is that them? And he said, yeah. And I said, call them. And he handed me his phone. And I said, I can't operate that thing. And so he put it on mic. And I said, Washington County Service Authority, Abingdon, Virginia. And then I hit call. And I used his phone. I said, can you send somebody down here? And they got all huffy with me. You know, they act like you're standing in a welfare line. If you are standing in a welfare line, you shouldn't be treated like that. And I told her, I said, look, somebody needs to come down here. My guy's down here. I've hired somebody for the second time, and it's still leaking. And she said, you're still flagged for a leak. They're not going to cut it off. And I thought, no, I'm going to have it cut off because I'm not paying $154 a month for water. I'm not paying $85 a month for water, and I'm not paying $81 this month. I paid $154. I paid $85, and I got an $81 bill this month, and that's when I called Miguel. Because I've been trying to tell them, would they come down and check it? No, they wouldn't. And so anyway, finally the men come down and they showed up. And I walked out there and he said, well, I'll put it on the ticket. He said, they'll have to straighten it out. In other words, this ain't been my fault. So I called the next day and I was being nice. I wasn't being ugly. And I said, please, honey, can you help me with my water bill? And she said something. And I don't know what I said. I don't even know. But she said, if you'll let me finish. And I said, you stop right there. You are not talking to me like a child. I am not a child. This stops. You are the one been overcharging me for the last 3 months. This is not my fault. This is your fault. And I said, I've had to hire help twice. And the last time the help was $150. And this time I've not even got the bill yet. I've paid you $154. I've paid you $85. I've been begging you for months to come down here and check this. And I said, I want to ask you this, and I will be quiet long enough to let you finish. How long does it take you to earn $180? She said, a long time. And I said, me too. And anyway, I said, well, I wanted to get my money back. She said, well, no, we issue a credit. And I said, no, you won't. No, you're not going to do that. You absolutely will not. I said, I pay you the same day that the bill comes in the mail, or I pay you the next day. And I expect the same in return. I said, you didn't have the right to charge me that, and you don't have the right to keep it. And I want my money. Maybe I want to go and foolishly spend it on groceries. She said, I'll see what I can do. And I kept going on. She said, I'll see what I can do. And I said, you better, because I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to call you every day until you do. She said 2 to 5 days or something like that. I said, you better, because I'm going to call you every day until you do. And I said, I want to leave you with this. I said, see, I used to drive dump trucks. And I said, with all the equipment that you have at your fingertips and the labor at your disposal, you have been telling 56-year-old arthritic, rheumatoid arthritis, and heart failure me to get down and crawl on my hands and knees to look for the leak. And you ain't even bothered, after having it flagged for 3 months for a leak, to send your men down and have to call and demand. So I've been having to deal with that. Meantime, I'm like, goodness gracious, I have got to wash my clothes. I've got 2 sets of sheets for this camper. I got a full-size bed. I got 2 sets of sheets. Both are dirty. I have not been able to walk. I have not been able to walk at all. It has been so painful just to get up. Just to get up, period, is painful. And then to stand on my legs is so painful, and to walk forward. Cat's laying down there. The fuzzy one with the bobtail. He's laying down there with his head on my house shoes. But honey, any day is a day the Lord's made. And as far as that stuff goes, it don't bother me. I ain't a bit bothered by it. As long as my bills are paid, I've got what I need. Any day above ground is a day the Lord's made. Be glad and rejoice and be glad in it, and be happy, happy, happy. And, all of that, truly, that is, and I have to remind myself that sometimes too. And so, look at these. Can you see the gold in them? They're Adidas. That's gold. I mean, they are sharp. They are an 8.5. Pretty nice. I think I listed them for 20, but 15 would be okay. I gave $5.99 in tax for them, so you might as well say $6.50, or probably $6.75 or something like that. Anyway, if I can make $10 on them, or $8 to $10 on them, great. Because see, I just let people stop by here and pick things up. So what I was going to say, I've been so busy, I hadn't been selling anything because I was at my store and stuff like that, But now I've got all this stuff in the way, plus I buy and resell things. And so I started listing a few things, and I sold 3 things this past week, and I wasn't even trying. I made $60. If I would have tried, I could have made $600. It's up to you how much you make. But anyway, I put a few things online, and I sold 3 $20 items, and I had $60. Well, I had that in my wallet today. That's about what I had left in my wallet after I paid for the dryer. And that was all I needed. I put 20 in the gas tank, and I spent about 40. And it wasn't on purpose. It wasn't on purpose. I didn't have myself on a budget. I mean, I really didn't. I just picked up the few things that I thought I could sell, and it ended up being exactly about what I had made. So, you know, I just used the money that I had made. So you can do that. You don't have to have no money to start selling. You can just sell what you've got, then take the money from that, and, you know, get you something else and sell that. I just say this, you know, don't spend more than what you can afford to do without. Because some things sell fast, some things sell slow. But most of the time you really don't. Only buy what you know. I only buy what I know. I'm not going to buy something. I'm not going to buy a Matchbox car. Well, actually, Luke's got a grandson. But, you know, I mean, I'm not going to buy... Nina buys... I buy pocketbooks, but Nina knows more about pocketbooks than I do. You know, anyway... just buy what you know. Sometimes you can find Mary Kay makeup at a yard sale. Sometimes you can find Clinique. Sometimes you can find the lipstick, stuff like that. Just buy what you know. And if you know you can make money on it, get it. And like I said, in Southwest Virginia, we buy high and sell cheap. And if you ain't got something that's selling, if it ain't selling, get your money back and put it on into something else. Put it back in your pocket. Get your money back out of it. And if you can't sell it at all, throw it in the trash if you can't give it to somebody. Because it's just going to piss you off sitting there looking at you. You don't need that. But anyway, I got these. And they are very nice. Oh, they are so nice. I love these. They're a classy tennis shoe, in my opinion. And then I got these little guys. These are so precious. Look. They're Under Armour for a little boy. They're really a rough-looking shoe, in my opinion. But they're really in good shape. And so I paid $5 for these. And I put them out there for $15. And these shoes will retail $65. You know, and if somebody offers me $10, I'll let them have it. But I don't know if you can see down in there, but they're like brand new on the inside. The outside looks, I mean, you can really tell when you look at the inside. See, there's no beading around here. And the inside is like new. And, you know, there's no scuffs on the toes or nothing like that. And they're ink blue and a neon green. Pretty cool. They're size 12. And the Under Armours are an 8.5. So I paid $5 in tax. And if I get, you know, $10, $15. And my people just stop by here. Because I live right on the 4-lane, so I just let them come to me. I don't meet people. And I live in this little trailer park. I got 15 neighbors. I don't worry about people stopping by here. I got too many neighbors. I mean, I really do. I don't worry about that. It's a lot easier for them to stop by here for me than it is for me to go to my store for them to stop by there. This is easier for me and a whole lot cheaper. A store building will run you anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 a month. And these are, so this is, you know, just how I make, and I really enjoy it, okay? It's, these are valances. I told Nina, I said, I bought these because I thought, now Nina would like these. This would be something Nina would like. It's not my style, but it is hers, and these are pretty. They're just not my kind of thing. But they're valances. And they're really nice. See how that lifts up? And it's an upholstery. and upholstery weight material. In the back of them, you can see the wide rod pocket right there. So I got 2 of them, and I thought, I got them, I either gave $1 or $2 for them. They were either $1 a piece or $1 for both, I don't know. And so I was just going to put, you could probably get away with putting $20 on these. And when I was looking at them, I dug them out of a pile at the Hebron thrift shop. It's a ministry shop. I thought I can get $10 out of these. So I grabbed them. But honestly, I think you could get away with 20. You might even get away with 25, kind of doubt it, but they're upholstery material. And they're so well made. I don't know what brand, but 15. I'll put 15 on these. It's nice when you think, well, I can get this, but then you can actually get a little bit more. And these are Crow Seal. If you know anything about bedding, Parks Built bedding, which I'm a real sucker for. I like Parks Built stuff. I sure do, honey. I was going to show you. I seen the tag somewhere. And let me tell you something about this. I looked through that whole rack at that Goodwill. They didn't have anything good. Nothing. Except this. This was the one hanger that had something nice hanging. And I don't know where I seen that tag. But they got a Crow Seal tag on them. And I paid $2. Right there it is. See the tag? Crow Seal. It's sewn in there sideways, but it's Crow Seal. And it's purple and green and tan. And they're brand new. See this side? If you can hear that, it's a silky material. And they're king shams. But they're shimmery. They're beautiful. I mean, they really are. And, but they're not my color. So I've got blue. But now these are purple and mauve and green and tan. Like a sage green. And they were just so, they're impressive. Anyway, $2. Again, I feel like 15. You can get 10 quick. 10 would be even quicker. Sometimes 15 might be, you don't, whatever. Here's the other one. And these are valances. And I've got a whole stack of them. I've got 5. And there's no soiling or staining. Sometimes you'll get, the edges will have dirt. No, these are really nice. These are in great shape. And they are extra long. And this is folded in half. And your rod pocket right here is your rod pockets, wide rod pocket. And you've got, I don't know if that is, I don't know if that's Waverly or what, but they're nice. That print's really pretty. It's a floral. And they're white, got a white background, and all that pretty floral. And I saw them, and I just thought spring, spring, spring. And for 5 long valances, I'd say they're about a 18-inch drop. I used to sell curtains. Really nice, expensive curtains. But anyway, I've got 5 of these. And I thought, well, somebody give 25 for 5 matching valances, like a sunroom, you know, something like that. So I bought them. So, you know, from 5 to 25, or if you get 20, that's cool. Great. Something new for your house. I mean, there are people that can afford to buy things. You know, I'm not really one of them, but there are. And a lot of them. Even, honey, I'm going to tell you something. I've had a lot of millionaire clientele in my time. And they did not start as millionaires. And they love to thrift just as good as anybody else. And a lot of times these days, what you want, you can't find it to buy it. Because it's vintage. So, you know, what you fussing about, honey? What you fussing about, baby? You just a fussy little boy. Okay. Let's see, I'm putting my goblets up. So this is how I make money. And it's an honest dollar. And I've done it for about 24 years. Well, I did not mean to bonk you. Lord God, honey, you get yourself in the way. God love the baby. Mommy, kiss it, make it better. Mommy, kiss it, make it better. What is it, honey? What is it, baby? Now, get over here and get out of the way. Do you want to go outside? I didn't think so. It's cold. The last thing that I'm going to show you is this right here. I got me a towel when I was finding them curtains. It's yellow. I got it for $1. A bath towel for $1. That's how, I mean, really, this is how I get a lot of my stuff. And all of my stuff is nice. People buy and pay money for my stuff. And this is how I get it. So, I just encourage anybody. You know, I've been doing this a long time. And like I said, it's an honest dollar. And it's a lot of fun. Me and Deborah had fun. She got a real pretty rug for $15. It was a brand new area rug, probably about a 5x7, thick pile, nice rug. Brand new on the back, clean, nice. $15. It was tan, and it had that Oriental design in it, absolutely beautiful. And the two of us, I mean, I could carry 2 rugs. The two of us like to never got it in the back of the Jeep, and then we like to never got it from my Jeep into her Subaru SUV. But we did. This is, you know, you seen these, the ragtime blankets? I see a hair on that. I don't know. Anyway, I got this blanket for $4. And this is a big blanket, and it's handmade. And it's never been washed. It really needs to be, probably. But it's never been washed. I mean, but it's clean. You know what I'm saying? But it's probably time to, you know, give it a spring clean wash. See that? And it's cut with pink and shears. And then it's black on this side. And it's brand new. And I was looking, I looked them up on Etsy, and they're selling for $80. Well, fabric, fabric is expensive, just like crochet is. There's a little something right there. But, other than that, this is new. And I thought, $4, I know I can get $40 out of that. They're selling on Etsy for, I mean, if it wasn't that new, if it wouldn't have been this new, I wouldn't have fooled with it. But this is so nice. And so, that is what I got. So, from 4 to 40. And like I said, I sold $60 this past week. Ain't even, the only reason I did was because I needed to get stuff out of the way. And don't get me wrong, I can always use the money, but I wasn't doing it. That the money was not the motivation. I knew that I needed to get rid of stuff. And so I sold 3 things and $60. If I would have applied myself, I could have sold $600. Now, if you do that, if you make $600 and you've only got, say you've got, 50 to 100 in it, that's how you pay bills. It's an honest dollar. And I've made people a lot of money and they paid me. But they were the ones that really made the money, not me. And when they live in them big fancy houses and they take their family on vacation or they go on vacation and you can't afford to, but you're the one that made the money for them. And you working and making a wage. It's not a good feeling. I decided if I'm going to work, I'm going to make the money for myself. They can do their own damn work. Excuse my language. But I'm serious. For the good or the bad. Driving a truck, I make pretty good money. Consistent that you could depend on, you got paid by the hour. Waitressing, I did decent waitressing too. But you didn't never know how much she's going to make. But working for myself, I've made the most. And so, and I've changed. I used to sell a lot of small furniture and stuff like that. But, and I still do. But it's a lot nicer and easier to buy something for $4 and sell it for $40 when it's a blanket than when it's a table or a plant stand, something that's awkward and in the way and cumbersome and topple over. Of course, with blankets, you have to worry about them getting dirty, or what have you. But there's no easy money. But I'm just saying, sell what you know and sell what you're able to sell. My feet are swelled up. Tight. I need to take a fluid pill, but I hate to do that. My joints get so sore. Get dehydrated and have dehydration just brings on an arthritis flare up. So I put up with a little bit of swelling. There's Lasix in my medicine. There's something where I bleed easy and bruise easy and pee a lot. But look, with all the stress, life is, and heartbreak and hardship. I just refuse to let it bother me too much anymore. Life is too precious and life is too short. My daughter acts ugly toward me. My mother acts ugly toward me. I never had a father. I never will. But there's not, my point is, or this drunk that I'm divorcing, he doesn't even matter. He's not my kin people, but your kin people do matter. But if your kin people are going to be like that and they're going to act ugly, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't let it bother you. I tell you what I do about it is I pray for my grandbaby and my daughter and my mother all day long. I do, all day long. All day long. Every time I eat something, I thank God for it, and I pray for them, or I just pray for them because I talk to him all the time. I talk to God all the time. I found this a girlfriend of mine, Cindy. She's worked at the bank for probably at least 40 years. She messaged me, needed me to do a couple of mausoleum arrangements for her dad and her stepmother. And I don't think she liked her stepmother, but she's just trying to do the right thing, right? She's a good lady. You can't beat Cindy. She's wonderful. And she said, I find myself praying a lot these days. And I said, I do too, and I'll pray for you too. And I've known Cindy 25 years. You know, she's the salt of the earth, but she's needing a couple. She messaged me on Facebook Messenger. And so anyway, there's still so much to be enjoyed in a day. Find the things that relax you, don't upset you. Just a moment, I'll be right back. I'm going to run to the little girl's room, and I'm going to get me something cold to drink, and I'll be right back. So I got me a Coke, an RC actually. And I got me some ice in it because I've been too lazy to put the cans in the mini fridge. And it's a good thing because I'm going to have to move that mini fridge out of that little hole. And hopefully that dryer will fit there. But I don't know, it might not. But it's got to go somewhere. We'll see. We'll see. And I'll be able to do my laundry, and I'll be so glad. I've lived in this camper now 8 months. And I could have and should have done it a long time ago, but the thing of it is I've had construction going on, building the porch, underpinning. Then I had to move the store home. Oh, Lord. I've got $30,000 worth of floral stored. Arrangements and then loose bouquets. You know. And that's my cost in it. At least 20 to 25,000. But I say it's more like 30 because, you know, there's things you forget. And I've had an idea about that. And we'll see what I do. But right now, it's just piled up in a mess because I don't have a store building to put it in. So it's just, you know, in order to pay the divorce lawyer, and I just couldn't work no more. I can't do no more what I'm doing. I lay down a lot, and I sit a lot. I'm not up on my feet a lot. And in order to really work and get anything done, you know, you have to be able to stand up. You have to be able to walk. And I just can't do stuff like that very good anymore. And I mean, I can get to the bathroom, I can go over there and wash the dishes, I can clean off my cook stove, I'll get my camper clean. I have good days. I have good days in a row. But right now, with the weather the way it is, and that's just winter. I mean, you still got rent coming due every month, and you really can't afford to hire help these days. People expect so much that you can't really afford to hire help. I mean, I can't. I mean, I'm just a small mom and pop, I do good to pay myself. But now I do better and make more money at home. When you got a shingle downtown, you just making money for the landlord a lot of the time. You have your good days, you have your good weeks, you have your good months, you have your good years. But it's, I can do my thing from right here at the house. And that's what I'm going to do from here on out. Because that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. It's completely by choice. It's not because anybody made me or anything like that, or anybody caused it. It's just really where I'm at in my life anyway, even aside from the arthritis. I would just rather be home a little bit more. And I like going out with my girlfriends and stuff like that. And I just like to do some work, hit and miss, and I like to talk to y'all. And I like to pet these old mangy cats. Some pictures. There's me and my prom. A page fell out of the album. That was me. This page fell out. I had it stuck down in that pouch right there beside the recliner. This is a picture. That's a picture of me. I'm the girl. You can tell I had a rough childhood. Just look at the way I hang my head. That's my mom. That's her brother. And that is his other half-sister. I'm no relation to her. I'm no relation to him. That's my grandmother's ex-husband, which was a son of a bitch. That's my aunt, who is married to him. And that's his other niece, who is her daughter. I didn't really like going there. The only good thing about going there to his house was food. Stuff to eat. I didn't like going there. Right here's one of my first cars. Actually, my second vehicle. It was an Oldsmobile. And that is taken in this trailer park in 1986. This was the first place that I ever lived. My first home, housekeeping. that trailer over there. Deborah didn't own it back then, though. This has always been a nice little trailer park. I'll say that for it. And I'm so glad. And I felt so sorry for Deborah. She's got a trailer back here. And it needs a new heat pump. Well, Deborah does not charge much money. I mean, it's a lot to me or you, don't get me wrong. I mean, but I mean, you know, where other landlords charge $800 to $1,200 a month for a single wide, Deborah charges anywhere from $425 to $575. And one of them needs a heat pump, and it's $6,500. And the trailer ain't got no insurance. It's an old trailer. And it's a single mom lives in it with her son. And I said, you know, if that was me, because, I mean, it would honestly take her rent for an entire year. And if she borrowed that money and put it in it and made payments, if that thing caught fire or something like that, or if a renter destroyed it, you know, didn't change it, didn't clean the filter out and stuff, you're just going to be out your money. There's no way I just don't see, I think it would be very hard to make any money renting. You know, I had one place completely destroyed. It was where I brought my child home from the hospital. Little trailer on a 2-acre tract. And I had it made like a dollhouse. I had it fixed up like a dollhouse, that little single wide. I had painted, wallpapered, planted flowers everywhere, shoveled gravel off the back of the pickup into the driveway, made it as nice as could be. And I let these kids rent it. When Abby's daddy and I divorced, he took the front door off the hinges before I could get him out of there. He took the kitchen sink and the counter. He took the decking boards on the back porch. He took the ceiling out of a couple of rooms and the insulation over top. He took the bathroom sink. He took the toilet. He gutted it. He destroyed it. And so these kids wanted to move in, and they were young. They said they had 1 child, and then they had 5 kids up there. I charged them $75 a month for a year. And then I let him rent it for $150 a month for the next 4 years. Finally, there was about 30 bags of trash on the porch. I pulled in that driveway and I said, if you don't get this porch off, this trash hauled to the dump, and if you need help, I'll help you with my pickup. But this truck, you have got 3 days to get this trash off of this porch, or you can get off of this property. And I ended up having to kick them out. Meth. They destroyed. I had 35 bulbs of irises in the dwarf iris. Then I had 36 in the tall iris. That's just one breed of flower I had. This meth head boy and his sorry ass thieving mama took a shovel and stole every flower that I had. They destroyed the trailer. I couldn't rent it. It had to be completely demoed after that. It wasn't fit to live in after them people lived there. I mean, scum of the earth. And they still live around here somewhere. I don't know, but ain't my problem. Anyway, my daughter, she's putting her a tiny house up there right now, I guess. I don't know. I just seen a message come across. So I told Deborah, I said I wouldn't do it. I said I'd get me a couple of Eden Pure heaters, or she's got some, she was talking about putting propane gas heaters on the wall, and get a couple of window units for air conditioning and put a little awning on the outside of the window. Be just as good as anything else and affordable. You could do that for under $1,000. You could probably do that for about $500 if you're careful. I got that washer and dryer, and the washer is brand new, and the dryer it's brand new too. But they did use it 2 or 3 times. It's immaculate. It's brand new, and it come out of a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful home. $350 in it. I said I wouldn't do it, Deborah. And I'm sure she don't want to pay more rent. So, I think if I were her, I don't think I'd complain about it. That's just the way I look at things. $425 to $575 a month. Don't go nowhere no more. When you go, like my neighbor back here, her dryer went out. Deborah went and bought her a new dryer and put it in there. She provides the appliances. But the lady pays her rent. She's a good tenant. And she's an elderly lady. And I just think that's that is a happy marriage of a landlord and a good renter right there. And I just love my place. But now I just pay lot rent. I don't rent the trailer, So it's a lot cheaper. I just pay $200 for my spot. And then the rest of it is up to me, And I would really rather have it that way myself, honestly, because I live so much cheaper. I'm not under a lot of pressure month by month by month. So it just, I don't know. I'm just talking off the top of my head. This is just what I've been going on with for, the last few days. And that's why I really didn't. I told Nina, I said, I'm not neglecting YouTube. I said, I've been dealing with so many stressful things. I didn't want to come on here and start barking. I don't want to complain and I don't, but it's just my life. It's just what I deal with by myself. And I'm sure everybody has similar circumstances in their life. There's some people, when they leave messages, I know who they are. Not necessarily by their name, but I recognize their names, but by what they're talking about. I know because they talk about their families or their pets or what they're doing. And so, it's just an old lady blog. And an old cat woman lady blog. But so that's why I hadn't been coming through, and I guess this video will be long. Watch it win. Look at this cat. Win, and as you... Oh, I tell you what. You old hound dog, you. You old pot-licking hound dog, you. I love you, Bobby. It's too cold. I don't really want him to go outside. You want to go out? It's cold. Yeah. When he squints his eyes, it's too cold. He'll squint his eyes when that cold hits him. Him don't want to go, do you, honey? Well, you don't have to. You can do anything you want. You can do whatever you want. I wish you'd go over there and lay down and leave me alone. Well, honey. It's bobtail. They're so much different from a dog. So affectionate. I haven't had a cat in a long time until I got these. And I got, oh, that was another thing that I got. Let me go over there and see if I can get it and show it to you. Hang on. Oh, it's hard to get up. I'll be right back. See? And it's for the corner. And I thought, well, That'd be a great, because the litter box I've got does not, it was the only thing the dollar store had, and I just don't walk Walmart. I can't walk through Walmart. And you can, this here comes up, and you can scoop it out. And then I guess you've got this for like a filter or something. I don't know. But they were $34 online. You'd have to pay tax on top of that. And anyway, I got this for $6. Much nicer than the one I paid $20 for over there at the dollar store. There ain't even hardly room for Bobby or Bonnie to get in there one at a time. They have to turn around. They can, but that was all they had, so I bought it. And that was one of my finds, and so we'll empty that other one out and spray it back and spray it out and put it out there for $5, you know. Or Nina can have it if Nina wants it. She might want it. She can have it if she, yeah. So that's kindly, you know, what I've been doing, and I've so enjoyed YouTube. I really have. Oh, I gotta sneeze. I've so enjoyed YouTube. I really and truly have. And I'm one of these people, I'm not a daytime person. You know, I'm not. You know, I got up for years and years. And I got up 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, go to work. But not unless I got to. I don't do that. I'm up at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm usually going to sleep, you know, about 3 to 5 o'clock in the morning. You can see where my legs is kind of puffy. So at nighttime, it's usually when I feel the best. And I was always that way. Mama said I'd roll around in her stomach all night long. I'd keep her up all night long, rolling back and forth when I was in her belly. My grandmother was a night owl. Why not be who you are if you can be? And I can. Well, baby. My little honey man. He sits down there at the door, but he won't go out. And I've been, today, yeah, it will be yesterday now, or today, I got the dryer. Yesterday, I got the washer, and the day before, I was fooling with the water department. And I got another couple of things I got to see too, I'm seeing too. I mean, it's just something all the time, you know. And I've just been so tired and so restricted with mobility. It's just been so painful. I've just not felt good. But don't get me wrong, I don't let it bother me. That's just everyday life. But it's just, the camper is a mess right now. It is awful. I've got the washing machine pushed up to the sink. It's still hooked up to the sink. It's a mess. And if we could have a warm enough day to where I could go out here on the porch and organize things a little bit better and get some of this stuff out of here, do my laundry up, make places to fold and put things. I have shelving, I have cabinets, I have everything, but I ain't got nobody to help me. You know what I mean? It's just really hard and really slow doing everything by myself. Like somebody help you just because they love you, because it's your family, you know, like your child or your husband or your brother or boyfriend or sister or something. I've got girlfriends and they help me all they can. But they have lives and they have jobs. And I'd rather us be having fun than doing work here at the house. I'd rather go out thrifting or something like that as I would to do work here, you know. Um, but you know, don't never. So many people is struggling these days. Don't let it get the better of you. And I know, you know, not everybody can get out and go thrift, but if you've got a cell phone, I went to a yard sale one time, and I was driving a dump truck for Maymead. And I was over here in Mountain City and coming through, I passed by a yard sale, and this girl was selling good-looking denim. Good-looking denim. And she was selling stuff real reasonable. And I stopped, and I bought a lot off of her. And I took them straight to my daughter, who I couldn't do nothing with, was living in government housing with my grandson's other grandmother, who was an absolute drug addict, living in them government apartments with my grandson's father and his mom. And his daddy is gone now. He killed himself last year. He's 24 years old. Bad circumstance, government housing. But here they were, and he was working at Little Caesars Pizza, and they didn't have no money or nothing like that, and I wasn't even welcome in the apartment. The other grandmother, in and out of prison. His dad, in and out of prison, but the dad don't live there. They're been divorced for many, many years. But here, I mean, I wasn't even welcome to come in and use the bathroom. And I take heart medicines to make you pee all the time. I mean, I wasn't even welcome. But I would take her quarters to do laundry with, and I would take her stuff to do laundry, and she'd come out to the parking lot, and I try to take her place. She'd go place with me, but he didn't want her going with me. Neither did the other grandmother, who, by the way, is my age, and she's no better than me. You know, I never had another thing to do with her. And with my daughter, I never did. I was nice as I could be to her. I didn't know what. Abby told me she had cancer. Maybe she has had cancer. I don't know. But her problem is drugs. And she's always twitching and that tongue hanging out. I'm just like, God, how disgusting. And she goes and she takes my grandson to see her now. It passes right by me, and I haven't seen my grandson in about 5 or 6 months. About 5 months. I take him to the movies. I pray with him before we eat. If he drops something, I make sure we pick it up and put it in the trash can. So, don't want none of that. You know what I'm saying, right? But anyway, I don't know what I was getting at, but my daughter, I stopped by that yard sale and I bought all this good-looking denim. So I took it over there to her along with the laundry quarters, and I said, Abby, put these jeans on Marketplace for $5 each. I might have give $1 a piece for them. I said, put them out there for $5 each. They'll come here, they will knock on the door and pay you. Now, if you could meet them, you know, or something like that, you know, it's people don't really like to go to government housing, and when they do, they'll judge you, but because they'll try to talk you down. People don't try to talk me down living in my camper. I got a nice, good-looking little setup. People are so snobby, even though it's a trailer park. They think, oh, cool, I really like this. But if it was a ratty 40, 50-year-old trailer, looked terrible outside, they'd be afraid to buy off of me. But anyway, I said, put these on Marketplace. I said, if you could meet them or whatever out, you might get $10 each or $20 each on a lot of them, but you can at least get 5. They'll come right here and bring you some money. And, so she could be selling that stuff all week, and I don't know if she ever sold it or not, but, they don't want to listen, okay. Now, I've noticed my mother started selling a few things. And that's great. I hope she does good with it. It's always a really good feeling when we sell something. But she gets all mad and jealous stuff because I do so much more of it. She won't listen. She does make a little bit of money at it, but she won't listen. And you can't let yourself suffer for other people's bad financial decisions. Whether it be me, you, her, or anybody else, or my daughter. You can't let people run you. You've got to have so much for yourself to pay your bills with. What I do ain't nothing special. It's really not. It's just a matter of buying something, taking a picture, and selling it. And dealing with people and communicating. It's really not. And people are like, oh, but you can. You could too if you just take your picture and put it online. One of my subscribers was telling me that she sold stuff, and could I make a video about selling stuff? And I will get around to making one of those videos, but it's really hard for me. They do a lot of videoing, and I could have videoed today, but I didn't think about it. But that's a lot of work for me. I'd just rather talk to you. That's a lot of work for me. I was buying and selling things long before the computer. I bought my first thing that I ever sold when I was about 7 years old. I still have it. It's over in that curio. Little glass bottles. A wino was selling. I had 3 quarters. I got 3 bottles. They're worth about $70 today. They got the corks. That's what your little whiskey shots used to come in a liquor store. Now they just put them in clear white bottles, plastic or whatever. Back then, they come with corks, and they come with colored glass. I got a purple, a blue. I think I got 2 blue and 1 purple. One's a horseshoe. One's a claw, a talon. And right now, I can't tell you what the other one is. But I've been doing this stuff a long time, and I'll tell you what, the only way, even if you ain't got no money, or if you don't have if you got something you can sell, just put it on Marketplace. It's a good place to start, or have a yard sale. Get rid of that junk. Shovel out your house. I have to regularly. And I thought about those 5 valances, and I thought those would look so pretty underneath my cornice boards. But I'm just not ambitious about doing things like that anymore. I've got a set of curtains over there that I need to sell right now. They're over. I can't get to them right now. They're buried, but at the kitchen table. But they are the old pinch pleated thermal back-lined drapes, still in the bag, new, vintage, from about the 1980s. And I think I'm going to put them curtains out there I can get $50 out of them. Without them saying a word. Wait and see. I'll let you know how that goes. Because I thought, well, I might use them in my camper. Because I got a lot of windows in here. I could cut that up, use that fabric. And it's a real pretty color. But I just don't think I'll ever fool with it. I need to go ahead and sell them. And I think, I don't know what I give for them, maybe $5. You could actually get away with it. You know, if you put them on eBay, you could probably get way over 100. Seriously, you could, because they're really wide. And I used to sell curtains, so I know about curtains. But anyway, now those curtains I've probably had for 6 months. And you want to wait till winter to sell them so that you get the most money. And I need to do that tomorrow. I'm always doing something. Whether I can walk fast or walk slow, I'm always doing something. And I will record more, but right now it's just such a mess, and I don't have my tripod. You know, I've got a little tabletop tripod. Kind of folds up and down like an umbrella. An upside down umbrella, you put your phone on the top. And you could record, and I don't know, I mean, it's in storage. I mean, where I moved home, it's in a box somewhere. I don't know exactly where things are. I've got things in such a mess right now, and but today, when I wake up, I don't have to eat tomorrow, whatever. I don't have to go anywhere today. There's a little store up here called Crossroads Country Store. And they've got a real nice deli in there. It's an old time. They've got spools, wooden spools that have cable on it. Cable. Big, huge. You can put 10 chairs around the table. You could put 10 chairs. At least 8 around those big wooden spools. That's their tables in that little deli. It's neat. It's like over 100-year-old store. 1 story. It is just really nice. It's a little farm store. They sell propane up there, and they've got a deli, and they've got milk, bread. I've got a t-shirt of theirs I wear sometimes. I may be going up there tomorrow and get me something to eat. Or today. And they're just really nice, good people. That's where I get my propane, and I get it the same or next day. And other people have been waiting a week and 2 weeks on their propane to arrive from these big companies. I'm Crossroads all the way. And a guy that I went to high school with does the delivering. And so, you know, small town USA. So I'm sorry, it's been a couple of days. I'm sure I've talked enough to make up for it. But I've just really been working hard on just trying to finish getting myself, you know, anytime you move somewhere to get yourself set up, it's going to take you a year. And I've just moved so many times. But if this is either the last time that I move or the next to the last, I don't know what to expect with my divorce, but I would like to be able to afford to go and get myself a piece of land. But I don't want to do it right away. I would just rather stay here and, you know, just have the money on hand if I had to do that. So, and he thinks he's starving me to death. I bet you do. I'll bet you do. I bet you do. You can't get up early enough in the morning to starve me to death. And I suggest you don't even try. Just a real coward of the county, wimp, drunk, you know. But, I'm sure he thinks I'm starved to death. No. Not by a long shot. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's been a little dicey with money because, I had to get the store moved home, and that was like almost $1,800 to get all the moving done and to, get the building empty so the landlord could re-rent the building. And then the divorce lawyer was $3,500 cash also. And I just didn't want to have to struggle through winter and do what it would take to pay the rent. And, as far as dealing with him and dealing with the marital money or whatever, and, the only thing that I was doing was putting up with a screaming, insulting drunk in order to make to get the landlord their money. To get I didn't need it. I can do what I do from home, whether it's funeral flowers or it's buying and selling something. And so, it just me, just with, my lot rent, my electric, and my phone. That's another thing I've got to see too. But just with those few things, the water bill, I'm fine. I can make it. And so I'm sure he thinks he's starving me to death. No, you ain't. No. And you ain't going to be, you're not keeping mine any longer than it takes to get to court and get my part. You can sit right there and just think whatever, live in this little dream world that you want to live in. I've never seen such an idiot. Instead of just being happy, I'm glad it turned out this way. Because I'm fine living by myself. I'd much rather be by myself. But I'm glad it turned out this way, But if he would have been nice, I wouldn't have had, I mean, he literally ran me off. I couldn't live there. The screaming, the yelling, trying to slam me in a refrigerator door, coming at me, rearing his fist back. And I said, you just go right ahead. And I mean, I couldn't stay there, and I couldn't even live in the yard in my camper there. Okay. And it did take a while. It took me about 1.5 years. Well, it took me 2 years from the, staying in the camper, living in the store, getting the porch done. It took about 2 years to get the, I mean, somebody, why did you even want to get married to start with? He knew he was going to start drinking again. I didn't. I really thought it would be, I knew he could if he wanted to. Anybody can. Don't tell me it's a disease. I don't want to hear it. It's not a disease. A disease is cancer. A disease is leukemia. A disease is, God forbid, arthritis, autoimmune diseases. These are things we cannot help. Taking a drink of alcohol or taking a drink of milk or taking a drink of Coke is a choice that you make. It might be harder for some people to quit than others. And he's one of these that shakes like this right here if he don't get a drink. That's the way you want to live? Ain't mom, I mean, it's a free country. That's the way you want to live. Well, then, you can get away with what you've done. You might can get away with it legally, but I mean, you shouldn't go messing up somebody else. I don't drink at all. I don't. And listen, I would love to have a margarita with a ribeye, a Cajun ribeye. Are you kidding me? Sure. I would love to have a cold beer on a hot day. Drink about that much of one and I'm done. I don't have anything against anybody having a drink or two. I don't. But I mean, somebody like that, they can't even have one. They're, I mean, just, oh God, it makes me sick. I can't stand it. There's nothing I hate worse than a know-it-all. There's very little I hate worse than a know-it-all, I don't care if it's a man or a woman. I can't stand it. It's always somebody spouting out criticism, sitting on their damn ass. Well, you can talk to yourself. So I hope I'm not being too negative. It's just been stressful for a few days, and this is just how I process and live and get by. But my life is just so good. I mean, I still have stressful things I've got to deal with, but as far as having a great life, I just feel like I finally have a great life, and the best is yet to come, and spring is coming, and I was thinking about, I was looking around at the front of the porch, and I thought, need some bushes down there around front. Need some evergreens, few here and there going around the porch would look nice. One on the corner, one in the middle, one on each end. Just things like that. I don't really like mulch because I don't like the bugs. I used to have mulch everywhere. I've had the rocks, I've had everything. But now I just want to plant it in the ground. Keep the weeds out from around stuff. And I do. I look forward to a lot. I look forward to life now. I don't like having to deal with the stressful things and, or the hurtful things, and I do know, I feel like God will see to things. I feel like God will, we grieve. I told somebody yesterday, and commented, a lady I like to watch, she lost her grandson. And I said, a girlfriend of mine lost her son and her husband within 10 months of each other. It's just awful. It's awful every day for her still yet, and that's been 10 years ago. But we grieve for the little things. I said a perfect day to me, a perfect day for me would be my daughter and my grandson. Abby's 24, Marshall's 5. To make Abby some dumplings. She loves my dumplings. Some of that homemade bread. Make Marshall a cheeseburger or a grilled cheese or an egg sandwich. Put a Disney, some kind of a nice movie on, Hallmark or something, and set him down with a coloring book and some vintage crayons, and we'll just watch my babies color while I clean up the mess. And maybe the cat's on top of the table watching them color, going back and forth and chasing their hands with these paws. He likes to do that with my yarn. It's the simple things that we grieve for. Grief is a horrible thing. And I'm telling you, the only way you can deal with it is to have faith and to stand on the promise that God provides. And to know whether it's my loved one or your loved one, that Jesus went after the one sheep, didn't he? Your worst day with Jesus is better than your best day without him. And I do believe in the end it'll all work out. But I sure do get tired of waiting to see my little boy and to see my little girl that I raised. But I content myself with my life. I know that it would be ridiculous for me not to enjoy my life and to be grateful for it and to be happy. And it's okay to be happy, because what else can I do? I don't know what people expect. I really don't. So, he's just laying down here at my feet. God, he made me so mad earlier. He, was jump up and sunk his claws in my legs through these thin pants. Oh, man, I bleed like a stuck hog. Thank God he didn't break the skin. But I really have to watch them with those claws. And I'm just about to trim them back because I'm tired of being hurt. But I haven't done that because I want them to be able to defend themselves. They go outside a lot. But I'm getting tired of dealing with the claws, I can tell you that. Just take that edge off. You know what I mean? Not render them helpless. Mama cat, she bit me one day. She only bit me one time. She's always had to defend herself, and I don't think she always feels good. And I don't even know if she's a girl, but I call her Mama Cat usually. And I call Bobby for Bobtail. I tried to call her Bonnie and Bobby, but I don't know what she is yet. So, and I guess that's everything. And this has been a new part of my life, and added to my enjoyment and my joy and my day-to-day happiness. This has been a new part for my life for me. And I'm just so grateful. And I just enjoy it so much. And it doesn't matter who you are out there. We are all in the same shape. We're all made of flesh, blood, and bone. And we all have a heart and a soul, and we hurt, and we laugh, and we cry, and we clap for joy and jump, and, and just know that you're not the only one. Whether you live, one lady's talking about she lived in her basement of her split level, and she gave her grandchildren the top part, and it works, and she likes small spaces. I always like small spaces. I had a beautiful brick house, but I never did like it as much as I love this. Really, I'm serious. So, and I had a beautiful home. And I had it all by myself. But I'd rather be right here in this little trailer park where I got people around me. And Noah got these white things over top of my eyes, and that is from the heart doctor said, when I see that, I know you've come close to stroking out. And I'll tell you what, and this was many years ago, it was stress and pressure. It was actually the first time that I was divorcing this drunk. And I'll never, ever, ever fool with another male again, or much less get married. I don't need to. I can make it. I can do really good by myself. Okay, so, but, I guess you can go get surgery for it or whatever, but, it's who I am. My grandmother had these, and I had a half-sister that had them, and, and no, I didn't know her. I didn't meet her till I was 21, and she was 18. And she died not long, well, she probably died about 8 years ago, something like that. Drugs. But this has been a really good part of my life, and I sure do thank you for being kind to me and caring about me and encouraging me, because I have a hard time staying motivated these days. But who doesn't? That's the point I'm making. So if it helps you to listen to me, great. I listen to people. There's a couple people I like to listen to. And one of my favorite people is kind of the way I'm doing mine. She just talks. She's great. She's wonderful. And she has autoimmune issues too, a lot worse than me. And she just keeps going. She's got a real good husband. I'm glad. She needs him. And so I don't want my channel to be about anything in specific other than just getting through life and giving all the glory to the good Lord. Day by day, just what I am, just what I do. And I'm pretty happy with it so far. I love you. I'll let you go. I'm going to edit these together, put them together, and I'm going to upload it. And I don't even know what time it is. What time is it? It's 3:38. It's almost 4 o'clock in the morning. But it won't hurt me to go lay down just a little while longer. So I think I might do that. Not like I said, I'll upload this and I will be back. Hopefully I'll be back tomorrow. Get me a shower and stuff. I went the last 3 days and I didn't even wash my hair till today. I just felt bad. And it was cold. So I didn't want to come live or do a video because I just look so bad. But today I do look just a little bit better. I don't look great, but I look better. So at least my hair's clean. You know, so I love you. I love you with all my heart. Stay the Lord's made. Rise, skill, and eat. Because if you don't, you won't last long. I love you.